So you see, I am white, but inside I am thoroughly rooted in this thing since many lives.
तो यार अभी हम निकल चुके हैं जागेश्वर के लिए और बैठ गए हम अपनी कैब में और सीधे जागेश्वर जा रहे हैं। और सौरभ को करना है आज काम, जो मैंने बोला कि काम कैसे कर रहा है, तो अभी टाइम शीट भर रहा था। ये आगे बैठा हुआ है भैया के साथ और हम लोग सीधे जागेश्वर जा रहे हैं। सबसे पहले बीच में कैची मंदिर भी ज़रूर रुकेंगे और गोलू देवता देखते हैं आते हुए रुकेंगे या जाते हुए रुकेंगे, और दोनों जागेश्वर के मंदिर कवर करेंगे। फिर उसके बाद आते हुए भैया हमको छोड़ देंगे हमारे मुक्तेश्वर के गोस्ट ऑप्स हॉस्टल में। फिर वहाँ से हम 3 दिन रुकेंगे वहाँ पे, तो वहाँ पे देखते हैं कि क्या क्या घूमना होता है। बाकी अभी मौसम इतना ज़ोरदार हो रहा है ना कि कहीं किसी जगह पे बादल हैं, किसी जगह पे धूप है, तो इतना मज़ेदार मौसम हो रहा है कि मतलब यहाँ से निकलने का मन नहीं हो रहा था यार। और बारिश भी आ रही थोड़ी थोड़ी हल्की हल्की, किसी जगह पे आ रही किसी जगह पे नहीं आ रही है। अभी हम लोग कैची धाम मंदिर में पहुँच गए हैं जागेश्वर की तरफ जाते हुए, और यहाँ पर हमने थोड़ा सा रुके हैं मंदिर के दर्शन करने आए। और नीचे नदी बह रही है, बहुत थोड़ा सा फ्लो है बट हाँ है फ्लो। और यहाँ पे ये मंदिर है, यहाँ पे अभी हम दर्शन करके आ जाएंगे। मौसम बड़ा ही तगड़ा हो रहा है यार, जैसा हर बार होता है ना, वहाँ पे मस्त बादल, धूप भी आ रही है, साथ में बारिश भी आ रही है। चलते हैं मंदिर के दर्शन करने। हाँ मेरा चैनल है नेचर एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ। तो यार अभी हम लोग जागेश्वर मंदिर पहुंचने वाले हैं, मतलब 20 किलोमीटर के आसपास बचा है। बीच में हमने रेस्ट ले लिया था, अभी रुक गए थे भुट्टा खाने के लिए। वहाँ पे भैया भुट्टा बना रहे हैं, हमने अपनी गाड़ी रोक रखी है और ज़बरदस्त व्यू है यार, ज़बरदस्त व्यू बहुत शानदार आ रहा है यहाँ से। पहुँच गए हम जागेश्वर के अंदर, जागेश्वर बस आने वाले 1 किलोमीटर के अंदर, और बिल्कुल जंगल्स के बीच में बना हुआ है। और इतना ज़्यादा ठंडा हो रहा है, इतना ज़्यादा ठंडा हो रहा है गाइस कि बता नहीं सकते, मस्त है एकदम। यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं लग रहा कि पेड़ों का कलर ही अलग है, एकदम डार्क ग्रीन, पेड़ों का कलर ही अलग है यार एकदम।
ये जगह तो बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा है घना जंगल के बीच में।
हाँ
ये जगह तो
बिल्कुल ऐसी लग रही है यार।
ये रोड हटा के साथ पूरा घना जंगल है।
हाँ रोड हटा दो बिल्कुल घना जंगल बन जाएगा। और ठंडा कितना तेज लग रहा है भाई, ठंडा कितना मस्त हो रखा है। मतलब यहाँ तो अभी दिन का टाइम है।
झोपड़ी बना रखी है क्या है?
यही वो है गुफा जो मैंने तेरे को बताई थी ना, जहाँ पे वो बाबा रहते हैं, वही गुफा है। देख अंग्रेज बाबा। सच में भैया अलग ही दुनिया लगती है देखने में।
नैनीताल क्रूज भी नहीं है इसकी।
हाँ नैनीताल तो अड़ता भी नहीं। ये इस जागेश्वर जैसी जगह का भाई लोगों को पता नहीं है, इतना पुराना मंदिर है, ज़्यादातर लोगों को सच में नहीं पता इसके बारे में। तो यार हम लोग पहुँच गए हैं जागेश्वर मंदिर, और कितना पीस है इस मंदिर में, तो यहीं से दिखता है। और कुछ लोग यहाँ पे अपना भजन भी गा रहे हैं। आ गया सर, अंदर आ गया। देख पूरे जंगलों के बीच में है कि मंदिर है बिल्कुल। और 108 मंदिर हैं इसमें, जो जागेश्वर मंदिर में। तो यार ये 108 मंदिरों में से ये इतने सारे ये मंदिर हैं, और कितना सही व्यू और कितने नेचुरल लगते हैं यार। ये देखो इनके ये पत्थर भी हैं, कितने नेचुरल पत्थर हैं। मतलब किसी भी आप मंदिर में जाओगे उसमें अच्छी सी तरीके से एकदम उन्होंने बना रखा होता है, और इसमें कितने नेचुरल तरीके से सारे मंदिर हैं। इतना पुराना मंदिर है, मतलब पता चल रहा है होलिस्टिक और इतना एकदम पीस। आज तो काफ़ी भीड़ है इस मंदिर में, बट जागेश्वर में मैंने इससे पहले कभी इतनी भीड़ देखी नहीं। अब चलते अपने मेन ज्योतिर्लिंग में, जागेश्वर जो मंदिर है उसके आई थिंक पूजा हो रही है।
So I was always looking for something like profound, some profound spirituality, and then I 22 years I started to practice this tantric Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism. But then I was looking like what is the root, and this is coming from India. So then there are many things I didn't understand. Why is it? So then I finally discovered.
मेरा मोबाइल तेरे पास है ना?
Discovered that. If I wanted to understand this Tibetan Buddhism, I need to understand the Indian culture. So I start to study Indian culture and Indian tradition, spiritual tradition, like Shaivism. And then I say, oh wow, this is like the very root. This is the deepest ground of that what I'm interested in.
So you have been to China, like you have been to China, Tibet.
Only 3 months.
Okay.
But most of the lamas you find in Nepal. Some of them are in India. Many of them go to Europe. So that was not that difficult. I didn't need to go to Tibet.
Yeah, and it's quite fascinating when we see someone from outside like worshipping all gods. Like you can see it around here.
Yeah, but then when you look, actually, we in this life, like truly, when you look, your life is collection of 7 previous lives. So then you have purva janma samskaras, previous lives. No? So, for example, I have done some mistake in my sadhana.
Yeah.
And I was reborn in Europe, in the barbaric land, where there is no spirituality, like real spirituality, because Christian is fake.
Okay.
Even if you study it very thoroughly, and as I did, you understand it's man-made. It's not coming from the pure level of consciousness. It is just made by mind for very negative reasons. It's
Okay.
anyway, let's forget about that. So then, if I was born in Czech Republic and I had to come back here and to reconnect to where I have dropped it. You understand? When you do some sadhanas and you make some, let's say you get proud, or you will have spiritual pride, you get some siddhis.
Yes.
And that at some point you will say, oh, I am better than these other people. That's natural.
Yeah, definitely.
But then it's very easy to slip, and then you get punished. You get punished for it, and you will be reborn in a country where there is no any friends, spiritual friends, when there is actually not the spirituality. You will get a lot of it's very rich, the way how the universe, how the God, like the supreme consciousness educates us.
Yes.
So you see, I am white,
Yeah.
but inside I am
about
thoroughly rooted in this thing since many lives. So I have to just continue.
So do you work, or it's just like do you work as well, or it's just
Well,
like
I am 11 years sadhu.
okay.
So I am forbidden to work. It was one of the
Okay.
things Guruji told me. No, he said, and then when he made me a nath sadhu, I said, now what are the rules? He was saying, you cannot work.
Okay.
And I said, Guruji, but how am I gonna do it? He said, that's not my problem. Okay, so then I tried, and in the end, it works. In Europe, it was very difficult in Europe, because how do you convince people they should give you some money, for that you are praying to God? Europe is so materialistic, is so degenerated that if you don't produce something tangible, they consider you worthless.
Yes.
But it's nonsense, you understand? So you understand it, I don't need to explain it to you.
Right.
Nevertheless, in India, this problem this disease, this mental disease, it's like a mental virus, is also coming. So people are getting more and more materialistic, and losing the culture.
We are adapting their culture.
It is coming. It is because of Kali Yuga. And it is also because of the very powerful black magic they are doing. You understand? The people who currently rule the world and the banking system, these people, they are doing very heavy duty black magic. They are like asuras. In the human realm, there are certain humans who, you worship like pure gods, like in India, But there are people in this planet who worship like very negative entities, like asuras and rakshasas, for like short-term benefit. To get some good results from doing good sadhanas is difficult, but to destroy something or to steal something is very easy.
Right.
So that is, and these people, let's say what happened in India, they have invaded your country, but that's not that bad. They have invaded your mental system through their education.
Right.
So look, in Almora, when there was this bloody Catholic school, there was dogs and Indians were not allowed. And then later on, the king, one of the first Almora king became, he enrolled and he got that education. And that is how they work. They make it looking like something worthy, that only the king can go to our school, and then everybody else wants to get it. But it's complete garbage. You see, they destroyed your Gurukul system, and you see, they say, oh, the caste system is bad. I mean, as a system, everywhere is a caste system. Look in Britain, all the lords, they don't talk to commoners. And all the lawyers, they marry amongst lawyers, and the doctors marry amongst the doctors. The caste system is everywhere. Just in India, it's slightly more sophisticated. And of course, if you have any system, with years it gets a little degenerated. So it's not about destroying the system, but to put it back to where it was in a balance.
Right.
You understand, like we say, if you have a baby you wash a baby in this kind of little, how do you call it, that basin. You wash the baby in not a bucket, but
I don't know how to do.
When you have small baby, you wash it in a small container with water, right? Yes. So then you should not throw, when you want to throw the water, you don't throw it together with the baby, right? So the system in India, the original Indian culture, is wonderful. You just need to maintain it as a temple, as your teeth. You have to brush your teeth every day. You have to wash your body more or less every day. You have to wash this temple every day. The temple is perfect. Because the temple is dirty, I don't need to destroy the temple, right?
Right.
So the Indian culture was perfect. But these people, they came here and then continuously attacked the mind of yours and say, oh, your culture is wrong. You need to dismantle it. You need to adopt our culture. Our culture is superior. It's complete lie.
Yeah.
It's actually evil. It's like,
But it looks fascinating. Like if we see from here, it looks fascinating.
Well, it looks fascinating only if you are ignorant. You understand? Because the materialistic world is endless. Like artificial intelligence and all these artificial things are endless. There is no end to samsara. It gets multiplied. It has no end. So if you will be pursuing the endless thing, you will get only trapped deeper and deeper and deeper in samsara, and you will get big suffering. So it is about, you see, in ancient China there was one the Lao Tzu, the greatest man of China. You don't know Lao Tzu?
Yes.
So Lao Tzu was something like an Indian rishi, like a Chinese rishi. He was living 2,500 years ago, approximately at the same time as Confucius. So this is like the fundamentals of the Chinese society, which is also very, very great culture. And this guy, he was saying 2,500 years ago, where there is one scripture which is like, let's say, his understanding of reality. It's called Tao Te Ching. And there he says, I'm not saying anything new, I'm just repeating what all the ancient seers were saying. So, and he said, you know, the wise man does not lead people towards spirituality. He leads people towards the simple life. And another thing he said, the sharp tools of the earth should be hidden and should not be used by people. That means the ancient rishis, ancient wise people of the world, they knew all these modern, they could use the nuclear power and all the shit, but they didn't do. Why? Because they knew that it's so easy to be misused. And the very, very, very few people are morally that upright to handle such things. So look at the disaster. Since 17th century, you've got the technological revolution coming in first in the West, and then it spread like a plague into the rest of the world. And what it does, it just destroyed everything. Everything is polluted, and they just say, "Oh, now we're gonna fix it with more technology." You see, these people are demons. The only thing which is gonna fix it is to shoot them, and to get back to the way, you know, simple life. You know, you don't need all these modern things.
Do you think that's possible now? Like
that's the only way, and you know, and it will happen by free will, or it will be destroyed somehow. It's gonna be destroyed, and the problem will be the crash, because now, since last 2 years, it became even more like people are getting so dependent. Whole system is gonna, you know, the government, everything, education, everything is now dependent on these gadgets. The human memory is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. In old days, the Brahmins or Tibetan monks, they could memorize every year this much books. I've been living in monastery, I've seen it. The Tibetan monks per year, they memorize this much books. And they study for 12 years. So imagine. And then after 12 years, you ask the monk, when he's well educated, please tell me this chapter. And he will, out of his memory, he will pull it out. Same all the Brahmins with the Vedas, such a complex things, right? And so this is very possible nowadays. If you ask me about like whatever, my memory is so weak that I need the book. And then the young people are even worse. They need these gadgets, you know. So imagine when you will lose it one day, when there will be no electricity. Like, I don't know in India, but for example in Europe, when you don't get electricity, you cannot cook your food. The water does not run. If this happens for 1 week in a big city with 2 million people, people will start to shoot themselves. Don't